According to media leaks, Joe Biden, he's going to get off scot-free. Listen to this. On the classified document case that is now about to come to a close. Joe Biden's own DOJ will not charge him with anything, apparently. That's not a surprise. We know that they have been politicized and weaponized. But guess why? Because his name is not Trump. It's not, a conservative. Sad. Now, although we're told that the special counsel is preparing to give Joe a very stern talking to, sure that's going to bother Joe because he doesn't even know what day it is. As we have long known, when your last name is Biden, when your last name is Clinton, you're a Democrat, you're running for re-election. In Biden's case, the rules simply do not apply to you. Keep in mind, Biden mishandled classified documents and materials for decades. Some of the documents that were recovered were apparently smuggled out of Capitol Hill from his time as a U.S. Senator in the early 2000s. Investigators found sensitive material in many locations, including Biden's personal library in Delaware, stashed next to his Corvette in his garage that's open all the time. The same house where Hunter lived and worked, off and on, selling the, quote, Biden brand to America's top geopolitical foes while in the throes of addiction with no experience at all. So needless to say, those documents were not safe, they were not secure, but there's no punishment. Classified documents were also retrieved from the Penn Biden Center in Washington, D.C. Now, that center was founded after many very generous financial gifts, you got it, to UPenn from China. And other sensitive material from Biden's long career in government was retrieved during a search at Biden's beach house. He only lived off a senator salary, right? Everybody can afford a beach house. And, of course, another search at the Biden archives that's at the University of Delaware. Now, of course, because we're talking about Biden and not about Trump, none of these discoveries were made during a surprise early morning raid. No. Instead, Biden's DOJ very politely negotiated what was a search of these properties with Biden's legal team, giving Joe plenty of warning before each visit. Now, we saw the same thing with Hillary Clinton in 2016. Her home, it was never raided by the FBI. Those 33,000 emails with classified top-secret material on them, the ones on unsecure servers, private servers of hers that we believe were hacked by our enemies. Before Clinton then, of course, destroyed 33,000 emails. We'd never heard of BleachBit before, but that's when you acid wash your hard drives and your servers clean. We never heard about AIDS. That's right, they took hammers to BlackBerries and iPhones. SIM cards were removed. Where I grew up, that might be called obstruction of justice. And despite this mountain of evidence that Hillary Clinton mishandled all of this top-secret material and obstructed justice, well, James Comey, the FBI director at the time, said no reasonable prosecutor would ever prosecute a case against a Democratic nominee for president. This is important. It is relevant. Take a look.
From the group of 30,000 emails returned to the State Department in 2014, 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information at the time they were sent or received. 8 of those chains contained information that was top secret at the time they were sent. 36 of those chains contained secret information at the time, and 8 contained confidential information at the time. Although there is evidence of potential violations of the statutes regarding the handling of classified information, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case.
This is a dual justice system. Again, if you're a Democrat, you mishandle classified documents, well, you just get a stern lecture, if that. If you're Donald Trump, you get your house turned upside down and more than, 3 dozen stacked felony charges designed to put you in prison for the rest of your life. But unfortunately for Biden, well, his legal woes are not over. Despite the DOJ's best efforts, House and Senate Republicans now have uncovered a paper trail that is a mile long that shows the entire Biden family syndicate and their addiction to foreign cash. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars, equity, lavish gifts, other funds, loans with no interest rates that are forgivable. All this money passed through shell corporations identified by James Comer from foreign countries. China, Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Romania. And these are among the most corrupt countries in the entire world. And they were all sending money to the Biden family. But here's the question. Why? What did they do for that money? The Bidens were providing that all we can see is little in return for tens of millions of dollars, other than, of course, they got access to the big guy. And coincidentally enough, by the way, the family finances were very much commingled, with Hunter allegedly paying Pop's bills, complaining about having to give half of his income to Pops, and, of course, James Biden cutting huge checks to Joe Biden. It all reeks of nothing but public corruption. That's why we call it the Joe Biden bribery and money laundering scandal allegations. So given the egregious nature of these shady financial practices and the tarnished reputation of Biden's weaponized and politicized DOJ, well, the Justice Department, they may just be looking for a sacrificial lamb. And according to even fake news CNN, the special counsel has now impaneled a grand jury as part of their investigation into zero-experience Hunter. And they're now seeking documents and testimony from multiple witnesses, including Joe Biden's brother, James. Remember, Joe Biden said to us as a candidate, he said it as a president, I never once talked to my son Hunter, my brother, or anybody for that matter, about their foreign business deals. And meanwhile, House Republicans, they are seeking an interview with Hunter's so-called sugar brother, a guy by the name of Kevin Morris, who always seems to rescue Hunter whenever he needs a few $1 million here, a few $1 million there to pay his taxes or other bills, or he needs a new car. Now, tonight, I don't know if Hunter's going to actually be thrown under the bus by his father's DOJ, but I am certain of this, that the big guy will never face a single charge as long as we have a corrupt Department of Justice led by a corrupt AG by the name of Merrick Garland, who's now running the show at the DOJ. And, of course, we know their hatred for Donald Trump. It runs deep. This is the sad nature of America's justice system today. It has been politicized. It has been weaponized. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.